you stupid or something?
Mama says stupid as stupid does.
What's up, people? I'm going to show you how to make a how-to video. So, how to make a how-to video. This freaking video is going to be super fun. So, you're saying you're going to show us how to be gay? No, I mean like funny, haha. Clay, we really need to know when you're joking or serious. Right now, we can't tell. What's going to distinguish you and your video from everyone else? In my situation, I say things like, don't be the next to them, be the first of you. And if anyone else can do it, I promise, you can do it too. Life is not only about the legacy you live for yourself, it's the one you lead others to follow. It's them little things that matter. People will pick up and respond, and at the very least, they're gonna be engaged in you, and just not what your video subject actually is. Ooh, I think I got one. So invest yourself and invest time into letting them know who you are quickly and efficiently. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what kind of equipment do you need? Well, it's definitely not a dick beater. But you definitely might want to use one of these for the people in the comment section. Yes, of course I've got a dick beater. Didn't have wooden spoons when I was growing up. You don't even need an infinity gauntlet to make powerful videos. Now, if you're gonna start whining and tell me how you don't have expensive equipment to do videos, I'm gonna tell you that you can use a cell phone because it's a freaking how-to video, dude. A freaking avatar or something that you're making here. Personally use a iPhone 12. I've used my iPhone ever since I had an iPhone 6. And the video quality is more than good any how-to video. The reason I use an iPhone is because they have iMovie, which makes editing super simple and allows me to add crap like this easily.
Boys, put down your utensils. I want to talk to you about something real quick. I wanted to take this time. If there's anything that you want to talk about, any kind of secrets, stories, or fibs, it's time to put it on the table, okay?
I went to the petting zoo and I let the goat lick my penis.
Actually made a video, editing a video on my iPhone. It was a 45-second video, but it took me 4 minutes to do it. So I'm gonna put that in the description below if you want to see the technical side of editing these videos out. Here's what needs to be contained in every single how-to video. My name's Clay with the Clay Way here in Muskegon, Michigan. I just told you one of the most important steps to make a how-to video just in the first 10 seconds. Any good story includes who, what, where, when, how, and my most favorite, and one of the greatest things that differentiates my how-to videos from other people's how-to videos, the why. It's not only about how to do things, but why are you doing them? So in my genre, it's how-to videos.
They're being honest.
Okay, hopefully that's it.
I had a beer with the old biker man at the end of the street, and he let me touch his old lady's titty.
In that first segment, I told you what a story needs to be, who I am, where I'm from, and in this video, we're going to show you how to change an alternator. But we're going to film it in reverse, meaning that we're going to be installing the alternator, but make a video on how to remove the alternator. No, don't get it twisted. I'm not going to show you how to change the alternator in this video. The tricks that I do, I am going to show you. And even if you're not interested in knowing how to make how-to videos, this is what will set your videos apart. Or you'll at least learn something you probably didn't know about an automobile. See how this shit turns out. I really don't know.
I go to the mall and hide in the stairwell and take photos of women's skirts. I have a whole book of cooter shots under my bed.
If you're filming a repair, it's pretty simple. Don't miss stuff. During the editing of this video, fear started sinking in that I'm certainly gonna miss stuff. That's why when you're editing, you fix it. Since we're on the subject of editing it does seem like the most tumultuous, tenacious things. Hell, I'm not even sure if that's the right damn word. Don't do drugs, kids. Drugs are bad. Stay in school. Editing is the most important thing of any video. Now, words like but and awkward pauses where you're bleeding through your nose or you're picking it, them types of things gotta go. Editing can be the funnest part of any video. It's why a lot of my videos have cut takes, jokes, me just being a nut.
One time I put a firefly in my butthole
Why?
to make my farts glow.
Oh, God.
Making repair how-to videos kind of gets a little bit boring. What do you want from me? I'm going to show you how you miss stuff and how you can cut stuff out of there that you don't need. I've already got this alternator out, but I'm gonna make an actual video how to remove this alternator in the installation. Yeah, it can be done. It's one of the most important critical parts of making a how-to repair video. Filming in segments. That way you can take each individual segment of your repair or your removal, maybe it's the first time you've done it, and cut that up and put it in different areas so it comes out congruent with the job that you're trying to teach somebody how to do. I wish you would stop using big words because you don't know how to talk. One of the most complicated portions of this removal of this alternator is actually getting it out of this hole. In all the videos that I watched, no person showed me how to do that. But there is a simple way to do it if you do the procedure correctly. That's one of the biggest things that most people didn't do in their videos. Okay, so at this part of the video, I'm gonna show you how I cut out this little portion that's not necessary. Most people, if you do the procedure correctly. That's one of the biggest things that most people didn't do in their videos. So I clip on these little scissors right here, and that allows me to move and drag this out of here. Now I can quite simply delete that part. That most people didn't do in their videos. Now I've got a portion where I'm actually setting my camera up so they can visually see it. I'll show you how I did this. One of the things that people do most often is they do not take this. But first, I'm going to cut my video to where I start talking, and I can drag this back if necessary later on if I cut it out in the wrong spot. But I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to hit delete, and now things that most people didn't do in their videos. This stuff seriously. They say they want. We've gotten rid of that bad portion that wasn't necessary for the video. One of the things that people do most often is they do not take this stuff seriously. They say they want to make a repair video. They say they want to show people how to do things, which is great, but they don't actually set up the camera to do that. They don't set up any lighting to be able to show or demonstrate the proper processes of doing things. And they don't describe what they're doing. In my situation, I need to remove this alternator. Well, I'm going to not only show how to remove it, I'm going to show you that I'm wiggling it a little bit to get it out of position, to get it up and out of there. The key to making successful repair how-to videos is demonstrating every necessity that they're going to need to get to that point to where that alternator is super simple to take out. I showed all of that in the video, but I recorded it backwards, and it turned out phenomenal. Make sure you take the extra time to actually show people the proper procedures to be successful, and not just kind of like, oh, you pride, and all this other stuff. That's no good. That's not the way for every one of them to be successful. Doing it the correct way is the only way, and it just happens to be the clay way. And then I'm going to show you how to put it in. I'm going to say, okay, look at the clocking of my alternator. Notice how I move it up and down to be able to get it inside there. I would add this 11-second part, but I can cut it in half and make it go faster so you can see it. And now my alternator is back into its proper spot, and you've seen it. This is also another time that you would shut off the camera because maybe you didn't do something correctly, and then you segment this portion so you can go back and edit it and take it to the correct position of it. Each process during the filming of a repair video is a process in its own. I break that stuff up, and to make it as simple as possible, I generally will film from start to finish. That way I don't have to move a bunch of stuff around. But the problem really comes in, a lot of us have never done this. I know out of the 1,000 videos that I have, that probably at least 800 of them, how-to videos, I never freaking did before. You might find that hard to believe. It comes down to auto repair. It's not only about how to do something, but why you're doing it. And when you understand how tools work and how to use them and why you're using them for particular positions, you can do anything. I'm telling you. It doesn't necessarily have to be the knowledge of that particular automobile to make a repair video on repairing automobiles. Some of my videos are good. Some of my videos friggin' suck. Most of the time, I put a lot of effort in them as far as repair videos go. These are not cinematic film processes we're going through. And with repair videos, they don't have to be. You can literally film them on your stinking phone. Okay, dude? I've done 1,000 videos on my freaking phone. And sure, it shows. But I'm not winning any Academy Awards, especially not for looks. Or filming, making videos to help people in their driveways, inspire and empower the rest of humanity to do things themselves. And that's all you're really doing with repair videos. Don't make it more complicated than it needs to be, but show people how to do the things that are most challenging of all. If you're going to tell somebody to take a bolt out, that's not challenging, it's fine. You don't need to show that. You're going to tell somebody that you're going to show them a repair video or a how-to video, tell them how to do the hard stuff. Because that's the most important part of the video. And more than likely the reason people are actually watching it.
I shaved the dog and glued the hair to my nutsack so I look like a grown man.
Show you how I got this set up. I am literally taking my cell phone. I took a pick tool and I set my cell phone right on there. And I think you can see the action. I can't even tell. I can't even look at the screen and find out. Now, let's say, for instance, I'm making the video that's going to show people how to install this alternator. Now, what I've got to do is I've got to do generally both movements twice. First thing, I've got to say to people, and this is kind of important, here on this alternator, there's a little bung that runs from one end to the other end. We need to make sure that that fits in between the posts, and sometimes that bung right here is going to stick out a little bit. Now, this might not seem like a critical step, and something that I did not see in any other video about this particular procedure. Situation's about to occur that's going to make this removal kind of installation video of this particular alternator absolute best on YouTube. Now, you didn't see it, but I just cut 35 seconds out of this video of me doing nothing. There's a bracket down inside here that we need to get it into. It doesn't want to go inside there, so we need to take an extension and a hammer and knock it into place. All we do is put that on the edge of here. Give a little tap, 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 love. When you're doing things from a distance, you can zoom in on the object that you're working on. This is portions of the video that I would cut out because my head's in the way and I'm not showing anybody shit. So just cut that garbage out. Make sure you refilm it if necessary. Keep in mind, mostly I'm filming a removal video, not an installation video. With our alternator loose, we can remove this bracket. Alternator back into place. We can reinstall this bracket here and install our electrical connector there. With our alternator in this position, we can remove our electrical connector from there. That's a 13 millimeter. People really love it when you show them all the tools that you're going to use in the beginning of a video, but most people don't. What do I mean by that? Well, the simple fact of the matter is you're going to lose most video retention within the first 10 to 30 seconds of any video. So if you're utilizing that time to tell people things that they already know, you're kind of pissing in the wind on your own video because people are going to skip through it. So I tell them during the procedure what tools and sizes they're going to use for that video. And that's the reason that I do it, so they don't piss all over my video. If you don't know, YouTube videos only make about 0.2 of a cent per view. If you don't get a complete view, you don't even make that. If you're just starting out making YouTube videos, remember, complacency is the killer of men. Consistency is the creator of creators. Keep yourself motivated. Keep in mind that there's 330 million people in the United States, and you only need about 0.1% of all of them people, which would end up being about 330,000 people to be successful on YouTube. So I don't care what you do on YouTube, you can garner that kind of following over time. It just takes time. People will get used to seeing your ugly face along with mine. So keep that in mind. When you're getting discouraged, don't give up. Good things come to those in time. It's not generally going to happen overnight. If anyone else can do it, you can do it too.
I touched myself to Drew Carey on The Price is Right.
God. Okay, that's enough. Stop, please.
The reason I add that stuff in there is for contextual humor, to gain retention. And the hope is that somebody watches them little takes throughout the video and they realize that there's a lot more to this guy than meets the eye. No, I'm not like a transformer. I've adapted my sense of humor into my videos, and that's why my channel grows but it doesn't grow really fast because not everybody's into that. No, I only need 0.1%. You'll also notice that I changed my clothes or I'm differently dressed throughout the video. That's because I edited this video 7 or 8 times, and every time I edited it, I added a little bit. I first originally started with the base of the video, which was the alternator removal portion. I edited that out. I made a separate video of that. Then I took the information that I was making from the how-to video, which I knew I was doing during the removal video, and I edited that. So it turns into a lot more time that you're going to spend actually editing than you do making the video. And not to mention, this is about a 2-hour alternator replacement, which took me about 6 hours to film and then another 3 or 4 days to edit. But it really is fun, and that's why we add in the fun parts. Now let's talk about your tricks, the things you do in your videos.
Push it forward as you push down on the rocker, and then sharply pull it back, and it'll get it over that little clip that's inside there.
Now we segment that portion of the video. Now that little tip from releasing that clip, you've probably said in 2 or 3 dozen videos. And if you haven't, it's because you're lying to yourself and telling yourself that people watch all your videos, or they already know things like that. So you need to add that stuff into every single video.
Now, something that most mechanics probably wouldn't mention because they wouldn't think about it, they're struggling to get the alternator into place. And that's because of the pin that's inside there won't go in between the 2 portions of the clamp.
Now, this is the type of thing that's about to happen in this video that you don't expect to happen, but is really good and is going to set your video apart. And it makes this video go from a really good video to a freaking great video because I'm going to show things to people they did not know that I didn't even know because this is the first time I ever did something like this.
You may have to take your alternator back out if you're working on it because you didn't know information prior to working on it that I'm about to give you right now.
Person watching your video would struggle like you're going to struggle in this situation, and you're going to forget all about filming what you were doing and not include this important information or somehow to overcome a bad situation, which is the most important part of filming how-to videos. So put yourself in the position of the viewer. The viewer don't know anything about you. He's never watched your videos before. Trust me, not everybody watches all of the videos. It would be impossible for somebody to watch all 1,000 videos I made. Dear Lord, would that be bad? Because some of them really suck. Oh, make sure you don't turn off that camera and you just chop and cut this stuff out of here because bad stuff is good video content.
Right down inside here are these little tabs, and they got slots on them. You can't really see it right there, but we need to make sure that this stem that's inside here is pushed out as far as possible so our alternator slips down into the place where it needs to be. Show people how constructive you can be, overcoming challenges easily and simply, like in this situation. You can see that this is a split washer, and it protrudes out the back of here, which won't allow us to get our alternator into the proper position. In this situation, it's a 9/16. I put a 9/16 nut inside there, and I'm gonna slide my socket onto the back side of here. Notice my arm was in the way there, so I'm gonna demonstrate how I put my socket on the back side of here, and then I'm gonna install a bolt.
Woosah, woosah, woosah. No, that's not annoying at all when you're trying to do work and get something done, drop the parts, but you also have to make video of it as well.
Hole right here, and that's gonna pull that out of there with another socket on the top, allowing it to move out the back.
We're gonna make YouTube videos. Just think a little bit. Be constructive. Find new ways of doing things, ways to demonstrate to others how to be simple but ingenious. You watch my channel, you know I'm very ingenious, often very incompetent as well. But maybe I do a good job of editing that stuff out, like me installing this alternator twice and not being able to do it.
So this is where my incompetence is superseded by my ingeniousness. 9/16 bolt here.
Oh, Joe Biden is not the only one who misdescribes things. I call it a bolt or a nut or whatever the hell I said in the video, and it's clearly a socket.
It's nut, it's bolt.
And a larger socket so it can slide in there.
To extract this out to where I need it to be, I'm gonna simply put this on the back side, install this. We'll see. So now we got that set up on here. Our nuts down inside here, our bolts here. Now all we got to do is turn our bolt. That's going to force that back up into the larger socket we got here and slide this collar back.
This is one of them parts where it's awesome that you're constructive and somewhat humorous at the same time.
Say you go to tighten this up and your socket spins, just use your vice grips. And if you're a sissy bitch and you can't get it tight enough, at the top there's an Allen key, usually 4mm. You can tighten this post up.
Or you can get yourself a Bam Bam.
Now when we look down in here, we can see that slid out. That's constructive. That's showing somebody how to overcome something while they're watching your video, which will set you apart from other videos. Because most people don't show stuff like that. They just wham bam when they're off camera, thank you ma'am, with their hand. Don't show people things like that. Them are the necessities of making YouTube videos, and that's going to bring you success on YouTube. My alternator fits in between there as it should, and there's no problem. And the person at home that's watching the video didn't have an issue either, because you showed them a correct way to overcome a challenge that they were having and something that was difficult for you and for them as well.
So you want to describe to them nuances of any auto repair, if you're in that, or construction, carpentry, whatever you're doing in your how-to videos. Explain the same nuances in all of the videos. It'll make you seem like you're intelligent and then want to come back and watch more of your videos.
Just like any automotive repair procedure, you're going to make sure you start all of your bolts. I got my bracket bolts started up here. I've got my lower bolt.
Now, it might seem like common sense to you because you know to start all the bolts before you tighten any bolts up. But you got to remember, these are how-to videos, and not everybody knows things. So explain them things every time you do them.
Now, in order to hold this tensioner open, I've got an Allen wrench, and that sneaks up underneath there, and as I move my tensioner, I'm able to lock it, which is going to give me access to this bolt here.
With that tensioner locked, it allows me to slide the belt on, slide the belt off, and get access bolt behind the alternator that needs to be removed. And if you've ever tried to hold a tensioner open while you're removing the belt or installing the belt, it takes more hands than you have. And we all wish we had more hands, but that's not going to give you more meat. So knowing that trick on this vehicle without removing the tensioner, which is a pain in the butt on this vehicle, something no one else showed in any other video. When you first clicked on this video, you're probably like, Clay, you only have 75,000 followers. How can you be an authority on how-to videos? Well, I get 500,000 views every single month, and my channel grows very consistently. My channel doesn't grow as fast as other channels because I want real followers. I don't want fake-o followers. I don't make clickbait. I make real videos for real people, and not everybody wants to be real. They want it quick and easy. That's why most people aren't rich, because they don't understand life is not a sprint. It's a long job. It takes time. Be successful. Now, this is a trick that I've described in 5 or 6 of my videos, but this trick needs to be described in every video. I cannot reiterate that enough. Any tricks that you know, even when you've done them in other videos, them again. If you want to see how this video turned out, you can watch it on my channel. It's going to be an upcoming video after this one. Remember, no matter what it is in life you think you can or cannot do, if anyone else can do it, I promise you can do it too. Don't be the next to them, be the absolute first to you. And if you've got a question for me, you can hit me up on Clay's AC and Auto Repair on the Facebook Messenger. I answer every one of them I can for automotive repairs, but not baby mama drama. Consider subscribing, clicking the notification, sharing my videos, and giving me them sweet old thumbs up. God bless, folks. Have the absolute best of days.